Hi guys, it's Mel. Today I'm going to be talking about the new supply, or as I like to call it, the other supply. Because to me, or from what I've seen over the years, and having experienced narcissistic abuse, having, being treated a specific way based on a supply, I don't consider the quote unquote new supply to be new. I just call it the supply. But for the sake of this video, I am going to talk about what it entails when there's a new supply or there's a different supply around. So first things first, after the breakup, or maybe during the breakup or the course of, when you're being discarded, you found out that there's another supply or there's a new supply. Because at this point, this is when the narcissist has completely replaced you. And see, you got to keep in mind that before you actually broke up with a narcissist, that supply has been around for a long time. That supply could have been an ex. It could have been a work wife, as I like to call them, or a coworker. Okay? If it's a gentleman, then it could have been a work husband, whatever it is. Okay? That supply could have been somebody that they met on the dating apps. And again, it could also just be any casual person that they met. At this point, it doesn't really matter how they met the supply or where the supply came from. The bottom line is that there was another supply during the course of your relationship with the narcissist. And I believe that during that relationship, that narcissist was always giving you clues that there's another supply. Because one thing with narcissists is that they can't focus on more than one. They think they can. They think they're players. They think they're con artists. They think they're slick. They think they're Casanovas, or they think they know everything. But when a narcissist is cheating, and again, I'm speaking from a woman's point of view, but this goes for anybody. When a narcissist has another supply, they're different with you. Okay? When they're running cold with you, they're hot with the other supply. And they start doing little things where you notice how their body language has changed, their behaviors have changed. A specific behavior that changes is the sex. They start being less intimate with you when they have a different supply, because at that point, when they have another supply, they're fucking somebody else. So they don't want to deal with you. They don't want your sex. And to me, that's like the number one clue. The other clue that they have the other supply is, the way they talk to you and the way they pick fights with you. Because when they want to see the other supply, they'll pick a fight with you so they could have an excuse just to leave the house to go see the other supply. Because remember, the narcissist has to, idealize the new supply. So what better way to go idealize the new supply than to fight with you and cause problems to have an excuse to go out? So those are just some of the clues or the behaviors that the narcissist was giving to show that they have a new or they have a different supply. But what I'm going to segue and jump into is when, everything's over and they're just outright with that new supply, or you heard through the grapevine, or you actually seen the narcissist with a new or a different supply. So first thing that I want to tell you is this. When the narcissist breaks up with you and, they run off into the sunset, which they believe, run off into the sunset with their new supply, it is not your fault. All right? Narcissists need constant attention. They need validation. They need their ego stroked. They need people to tell them that they're fabulous. They need people to sweat them. They need people to build them up. And many times when a narcissist is with you, if it's been a long relationship or something that's been going on for a while, by the time the narcissist meets or starts dealing with the other supply, they're tired of you. You're no longer giving them that attention that they need. Okay? Because again, these people are low vibrational and they always need people to stroke their ego. And so this is how the new supply was able to do it. The new supply was able to come in and start stroking or re-stroking that narcissist's ego. And it made the narcissist feel good. So when that narcissist started feeling good, it was time for you to go out the door. You became yesterday's garbage. The narcissist is like, I got somebody different that's treating me and making me feel good. You can go F yourself. That's just the attitude of the narcissist when they're dealing with a new supply. So just to let you know, it is not your fault. That narcissist got in with that other supply because of that external validation that they were given. The new supply or the other supply made the narcissist feel like $1,000,000. Once the narcissist has, picked up with that new supply, they're going to do the love bombing with the new supply. Because again, they're in the idealization phase and they have to make that new supply feel good. In other words, they have to groom that new supply. And the only reason why they're grooming that new supply is not because, they think the new supply is pretty. It's not because they think the new supply has a better body. It's not because they think the new supply, has more money. They're only grooming, they're only love bombing that new supply because they want that new supply to help them hurt you in the end. Okay? That's what it is. So it's, in other words, it's like they have to work on, on their dummies. That's what they do. And the new supply is also going to become one of the flying monkeys. So the narcissist is in the process of grooming the new supply or grooming the flying monkey. Because again, later as we get deeper into it, you're going to see how that narcissist is going to basically motivate and use that new supply to hurt you by doing triangulation. So that is what they're doing during the love bombing stage. Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into the exact role of the new supply. So this new supply, again, as I said, I'm speaking from a woman's point of view. This new supply, she feels she's it. She thinks she's just, Miss World. She's everything because the narcissist is, spending money on her. He's giving her the best sex. He's walking, holding hands with her. He's introducing her to his friends. He's bringing her around, and again, the narcissist is just loving on her. She's feeling so good. So this supply is just feeling so great. Like, I'm the shit. But while the narcissist is working on the new supply, while he's manipulating the new supply, he's also grooming the new supply to hate you. This is where I'm talking about what her role is. Her role is just to hurt you. Okay? That's her role. Her role is to demean you. Her role is basically to humble you. This is what the narcissist uses the new supply to do, just to humble you, to make you feel bad. All right? And when the narcissist starts to use the supply or grooms or trains the supply when they start devaluing you. Remember, when you first get in with a narcissist, they idealize you, just like how the narcissist is idealizing this new supply or this other supply. After they idealize you, they start to devalue you. And don't take it personal. Narcissists devalue everybody. Whether it's a romantic relationship, it could be their child, it could be their parent, it could be their job, their boss. That they go through phases. They always find issues and faults with everybody. So when the narcissist started devaluing you, that's when the narcissist essentially started building up and grooming the supply, the new supply. Because remember, she or he is what the narcissist is going to use to basically put you in your place. That's what they're going to use to crush your ego, crush your spirits, and just have you literally in tears. But I got news for you. I'm going to teach you and I'm going to tell you how to just diminish and act like you ain't never dealt with that narcissist or the new supply. Because you know what, at the end of the day, the narcissist and the new supply is a fucking joke. It's a joke. And so you are going to get out of that comedy. You're going to get out of that stupid show with them. You are just going to move along with yourself and you're going to put them in their place. All right? So now that the narcissist has devalued you, don't want nothing to do with you. He has dumped you outright. He's walking around town, flaunting the new supply and so forth. Now it's the official discard. Everything is done. He's no longer hiding. He or she's no longer hiding. They're walking around with their new person and they're showing them. And everybody's just getting a kick out of this. Like, oh, did you see so-and-so? With his new girl, he got rid of the other bitch. Oh, that bitch is assed out now. Right. That's what they do because they love to hear the chatter. They love to hear when people are putting you down because, again, they're a bunch of assholes and they get pleasure out of hearing or seeing that you're suffering. All right. So that's how the discard phase go. And the other thing is that new supply is stupid. You know why? Because first of all, the new supply is a fucking narcissist too. And why I said the new supply is a narcissist, because the new supply knew about you. And because they knew about you, they took pleasure in hurting you. They took pleasure in helping the narcissist to discard you. Right? So that new supply, the other supply, is a fucking narcissist too. And they fully orchestrated and helped the narcissist to discard you. So while, the narcissist is walking around with the new supply, and, and he or she, they're thinking that they're a bag of chips and everything is like that. It's only a matter of time. Because let me tell you something, that narcissist is going to repeat the same fuck shit that they did to you. Narcissists repeat the same cycle. You have to understand, with a narcissist, it's theatrics. It's a show. All you have to do when you have a narcissist, and if you really want to understand a narcissist, you literally got to create an image in your head, and it's like a show. You ever like rewind a show and you watch it because you just can't believe what you're watching, or you enjoyed it so much? Well, in this case, it's where you can't believe what you're watching. You have to watch and see how this narcissist behaves. And when you rewind that circus or that show in your head, you realize that it's the same stupid ass behavior. It's the same way he idealized you. It's the same way he love bombed you in the beginning. After he love bombed you, he said, when he had tied your ass, he said, you know what? I'm going to start devaluing this bitch. I don't need to deal with this one no more, because I got me something fresh, something new, something better. Okay? And then after that, just like he did with you, he's going to do the same shit with the new supply. Okay? And let me tell you something. These relationships, they never last, because any relationship that is based off of somebody getting hurt or somebody else's tears, you are not going to ride off into the sunset and live happily ever after with that narcissist. That's a message for the new supply. Okay? You are not going to run off. And let me tell you something. And the reason why I could tell you this, because I'm talking to you from experience. This is something that I have lived and that I've seen time and time again. I've seen it in my own life, and I've also seen it with people that I know. And I'm going to tell you a story. I remember I was dealing with a narcissist, and I was, dating a narcissist, and I'm thinking everything is good. And again, at the time, I didn't know that it was a narcissist. This was actually that one that I was dating, that literally taught me and showed me exactly how narcissists work. This one literally taught me about narcissism, because of how, he love bombed me and had devalued and then discarded me. This right here was the teacher. All right. So what I'm saying is, when I was dealing with that narcissist devalued me. Now that I think back about it, like, the signs were there. But again, I was so, blind and in love, I didn't see. Eventually discarded me. When that narcissist finally got rid of me, that narcissist went out of his way to show one of his flying monkeys that he had a new or a different woman. Mind you, the flying monkey always knew about the other woman that he had. I was always the last to know. And you, the empath, that's another thing too. When they have another supply, or they're cheating on you with someone else, you are always the last one to know, because chances are you're not even worried about, this person cheating. You're genuinely in the relationship, not the fucking narcissist. That narcissist is sitting there plotting and planning your demise, planning and planning how to hurt you. The narcissist is just wicked from the entire relation, from the beginning to the end. Okay? That narcissist that I just told you about, I remember that narcissist went out of his way to show people that he had a different type of woman. And after doing that, he smeared me, telling people that he was done with me, that he left me, all sorts of shit. Listen, let me tell you what happened. Yes, he did leave me. Yes, he did discard me. No worries. The woman that he discarded me for, within 3 months, I'm talking about 3 months officially of them being open, the bitch kicked him to the curb. So what am I trying to tell you? It's a fucking show. It's a circus. What goes around comes around. They don't last. It's not going to stay forever. And don't let the narcissist fool you. The narcissist and the bitch fool you to let you know that they're living happily ever after. Because think about it. How can someone, whether the narcissist or the bitch, well, she's a narcissist, how can two fucking narcissists that cause you so much grief, how can they live happily ever after? I doubt it. It is not going to work. All right? You have to just take it as it is, cut your losses, and realize that you are relieved of that toxic narcissist. Okay? So it's something that I've seen. It's something that I've seen. It doesn't last forever. It doesn't go on. Your pain, they're not going to run off into the sunset off of your pain. All right? This is what the narcissist does. So at this point, after dealing with that horrendous breakup, and now, the narcissist is flaunting that supply. Well, they think they're flaunting the supply, because here's what's going to happen now. And I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, because obviously you don't want to see that. You don't want to deal with that new supply. And I wouldn't either. Well, I never did. Anytime I was dealing with a narcissist and we broke up, because they all work at the same playbook. They all try to show off their new supply. It's a show. You got to turn off the narcissist show. You got to turn off the stupid show. They all try to flaunt that new supply because, again, they want to make you feel bad. They want to try to say, okay, well, you was no good. So this other person that I got now, this person, it's the world. This person's Superman, this Superwoman. This person's just going to change everything about my life and everything is going to be okay. And it's all fucking hogwash. It ain't gonna change. And the reason why it's never gonna be better for the narcissist is because the narcissist is never fucking happy. Whether it was with you, the empath, or even the new supply, it doesn't fucking matter. Nobody is good enough. Nobody works for a narcissist because all they do is find fault. Everything is a fucking issue with the narcissist. Okay? Everybody's a problem. That new supply that they idealized and left you for or put you in the garbage for, they're still gonna find a fault. So for that new supply that thinks that, that she's one up over you or she's whatever, she's going to be there forever. It's all a fucking joke. There is no way. They are not going to last. Okay. So don't worry about that. So the question here is now, what do you do? What do you do when you realize that there is a new supply and the narcissist has totally discarded you? How do you handle the situation? In other words, how do you heal? How do you move on? I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And again, these tactics or these not behaviors, these tactics that I'm giving you, these strategies, not tactics, these strategies that I'm giving you, they work. I've done them and I've seen people that I've not done them. I mean, outright did this. Okay. This is what you need to do. The first thing that you need to do when you discover that the narcissist is a new supply, ignore their ass. Ignore them, ignore them, ignore them, ignore them. Now, your question might be, how do you ignore them? Simple. You have nothing to do with that narcissist and that other supply. Okay? You don't go to places where they might be. If you're at a place where the narcissist shows up with that supply, then you go to the other side of the room or you go to the other side of the venue. Stay away from them. In other words, you are not supposed to be making no type of eye contact with that narcissist. Don't get on the phone with that narcissist. Don't text that narcissist. The new supply, because a lot of these bitches, let me tell you what they like to do too. Remember, the narcissist's job was to groom the new supply to hurt you. In other words, the narcissist wanted to play triangulation. Do not give that narcissist and the new supply that satisfaction. Do not allow them to triangulate amongst you. So this is why I always say, stay the fuck away from them. Don't have no dealings. Don't make no phone calls. Don't ask about the narcissist. Don't talk about him. Don't talk about her. Just let the bitch and the supply stay together. Just leave them alone. Because what I'm trying to teach you is when you ignore them and you pull yourself out of that situation, out of that equation, right? When you get out of that nasty triangle, they're only going to have each other, right? They're only going to have each other. And after a while, I don't care how excited they were and how in love they were. When you have removed yourself, that fucking narcissist is bored. The narcissist becomes bored with the new supply. And hell, sometimes they might even turn on the new supply. But again, we don't condone any type of, violence or anything. But what I'm saying to you is that narcissist, nobody makes the narcissist happy. So please don't ever feel that if you sit around and you confront them and you say this, you say that to them. No, it doesn't matter. Remove yourself and ignore their ass. Let that narcissist stand on business with that supply. Okay? Let them stand on business together. Do not give them the satisfaction of actually being in that stupid triangle where they're trying to hurt you. Get out of it. And that's how you are going to handle that. All right. So that's the first you need to do. Ignore them. All right. The next thing that you need to do is this. Now, if it's a narcissist that you cannot avoid, right? Because again, unfortunately, well, however you want to look at it, unfortunately, some of us, happen to have children with these narcissists, or, we happen to be married to them and in the process of going divorced. So it's a little bit difficult. If you can't avoid that narcissist or that new supply, right? Whenever the narcissist comes around, because they will try to come around you, as much as they claim to be happy with the news by the other supply, they're still going to try to come around you because a narcissist is never fucking happy. Their story is just so sad. You are going to gray rock his ass, okay? You are going to gray rock. You are going to become so fucking boring and uninterested that he won't even want to say hello to your ass, okay? You are going to ignore that narcissist. Ignore them and gray rock them. So how do you gray rock? For example, if the narcissist comes and say, hi, Mary, how are you? Simple one-word answer, fine. You don't respond and say, oh, I'm fine, I'm great, how are you doing? Because in reality, I don't even think that you should even give a fuck how that narcissist is doing at that point. The narcissist didn't give a fuck about the way you was doing. So why would you care how that narcissist is doing? Who gives a shit? You understand? And you don't need to pretend to be fucking nice to the narcissist either. If you want to, while you're gray rocking them, you could just be cordial. Okay? But what I'm saying is you got to feed that narcissist with a long stick. You got to just by your body language and your tone and the way you act, you be letting that narcissist know, like, I'm not the one. You are not going to fucking sit here and play in my face. That's what you're telling that narcissist. All right? So now you're avoiding them. You're not going around the same places that they are. I would assume that at this point, you've already, blocked the narcissist. And again, unless you have children with them, you have to communicate and whatever. However you want to handle that's between you and the narcissist. But if it's me, I take in about my phone and I might block you depending on the relationship I had with you. Because I don't want to fucking deal with you and I don't want to see you. Okay? So you're avoiding them. You're gray rocking them and so forth. You're also, as I've been emphasizing throughout this whole video, just ensure that you set boundaries with the narcissist, especially after the discard, especially when they're dealing with that new supply. All right? And how do you set the boundaries? Like I said before, you don't fucking acknowledge that supply. Don't go around telling people, oh, he has a new girlfriend. He left me for so-and-so. Hell, I wouldn't even call the bitch's name if I knew the bitch's name. I'm not acknowledging it, okay? That's how you set a boundary. You don't acknowledge the new supply. You don't acknowledge that relationship or that fiasco or that circus that the narcissist is in right now with the other supply. You don't acknowledge them. And they don't need you to acknowledge it because they're together, right? So why do they need you? Why do they need your acknowledgement? Or why do they need you to validate that relationship? They didn't fucking validate you. They didn't care about you. If they cared about you, then we wouldn't even be discussing this on the video. We wouldn't be discussing about the other supplier because there would have been no fucking supply. You don't need to acknowledge the narcissist and his new or his other supply. You just pretend like it does not exist. You just keep it moving. That is your way to heal him. Because you know what? Honestly, it's a figment of your imagination because you didn't concoct that relationship. You didn't make it up. You're not a part of that relationship. So why would you want to acknowledge that relationship? Pretend like you don't even know. Move on. They'll eventually get the message that you're not interested in them. Okay? The next thing that you want to do is after, avoiding them, you're setting your boundaries. You gray rock if you have to. Just focus on you. Take care of you. Glow up. I know the breakup hurts. I know the discard was just absolutely horrendous, but you got to look at it this way. Sometimes it's a blessing. Let me tell you why it's a blessing. When that narcissist was cheating on you with that other supply, right? I'm sure many a times your body wasn't right. Weird things happen when you're dealing with a cheating narcissist. Your body wasn't right. Your pH was off. Aren't you glad now? I mean, yes, you're going to miss the narcissist at times because there was times when I did miss, the narcissist that I was dealing with. You're only human. But when I look back at certain things, some little small clues, certain ways that I felt, whether physically or even spiritually, I don't have to deal with that no more. That narcissist puts your life in danger. Narcissists going around sleeping with you, sleeping with the other supply, and other countless people. That narcissist was putting your life at danger. Just to put it bluntly, your coochie is no longer on fire. Because you know what? The narcissist ain't double dipping with you and this one and that one or that other supply. He's not bringing back stuff back and forth. You are relieved. You're going to leave him over there with that new supply and let him transmit or transfuse whatever he wants to transfuse with him or her. You don't care. So that's what I'm telling you. Sometimes it might seem a little bit rough and it's hard and it hurts. And think about it, like what's hurting you with that narcissist? Because I'm sure before the discard, the narcissist was a fucking asshole. They were distant. They barely called you. They wasn't taking you nowhere. They weren't doing shit with you. Their family was acting funny. I call it the cult. The fucking cult was acting funny. The cult could be the family and the friends. All of these assholes were doing trifling shit. So now that the narcissist is officially discarded and is out with the new supply, what the fuck are you missing? This is where you gotta boss up. You gotta glow up. And I tell people, you're not living for the narcissist after the aftermath. But let me tell you something. You want when that narcissist sees you. Because just as an aside, they're going to fucking stalk you. The narcissist and the new supply or the other supply is going to stalk you. The bitch, the supply is going to stalk you because she wants to be you. Because at this point, now that you've completely blocked them or you've avoided them or you've been ignoring them, that narcissist is obsessed because let me tell you what happened. The new supply, she failed her job. Or he failed his job. Okay, depending on what the sex is. The new supply failed their job. Their job was to make you jealous and have you cursing and crying and calling and doing all sorts of fuck shit. And you did the total opposite. You said, you know what, fuck this. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm avoiding both of these bitches. I'm not entertaining no phone calls. I'm not talking to nobody about this dusty ass motherfucker. All I'm going to do is do me. All right? So when you did that, the bitch failed. She failed her assignment. Her job was to triangulate. Her job was to hurt you. Her job was to take away your self-esteem. Her job was to basically break you down. And you did none of that. All you did was say, okay, you know what? All right, boo. You stay over there with that. Bitch, stand on business. Stand on fucking business. And the other thing is when you remove yourself, they don't have anything to compare to talk about no more. What they gonna talk about? She on call. She not crying. Oh, she not stalking me. Oh, she don't really give a fuck. Exactly. You finally got me out the way. So what the fuck am I going to call and stalk? And what I'm going to beg you to fucking come back after you done disrespected me so many times? Because you've been disrespecting me with the other supply. I just never saw it. So now you're out. You can't take it no more. Because again, the narcissist can only pretend for a specific amount of time. And let me just tell you, with that new supply, it's only a matter of time before the bitch takes his mask off. Okay? It's only a matter of time. They can only join or be in a circus for a certain amount of time. And this is the time that the circus is going to eventually stop when you remove yourself from that. So, I hope this helps you. All I'm simply saying is that this new supply, please don't let this new supply or this other supply make you feel less than a person. That bitch is a nobody, okay? Is a nobody. She's a narcissist. She's toxic. She's low vibrational. In other words, she needs to work on her fucking self. That's what she needs to do. But you're not worried about her. You're worried about yourself. Let her and the narcissist stay right over there. Let both of those bitches stand on business. The greatest thing is that they no longer could abuse you. You are no longer in their little stupid ass circus. You're not joining in the fuck show. You're not doing that no more. Let both of them stay over there. Because I guarantee it's only a matter of time. And I'm going to tell you something funny too. Another thing that you need to watch out. With the narcissist and the new supply, as I said, they will stalk you. You might even have the bitch trying to get in touch with you. And two reasons why the bitch might try to get in touch with you is because number one, she's stalking you. She's watching your social media or she's talking to people that you know and so forth. Because again, she wants to be you, right? She wants to be you. She wants to know what it was about you that made this narcissist so intrigued, so excited. Because here's the funny thing. After the narcissist broke up with you and the narcissist with her, you think the narcissist stopped talking about you? Oh no. Narcissist still talking about you with the new supply. You have to remember, their whole relationship, their whole foundation was built on you. Their whole relationship, the foundation was built on hurting you. They talked about you all day. Hell, even when they were fucking, they were talking about you. Okay? They were talking about how much, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. They were talking about how, you wasn't a good woman or you wasn't a good man, whatever. They talked about you like a dog. Okay? But the bitches ain't got nothing to talk about anymore because you are done with that shit. Let her have him. Let her stand on business. In other words, you want to leave that narcissist up there with her because let me tell you something. The same way the narcissist devalued you, he is going to punish her and he's going to devalue her the same fucking way. And it might just be worse for her ass because you know why? Because she failed. When you removed yourself, when you let them stand on business, she failed to triangulate, and she failed to devalue. In other words, she didn't do her job, and it's time for him to fire her ass. Trust you me. He fired you, but it's going to be a worse. It's going to be a reckoning for her ass. All right? So I wouldn't worry about it. Try your best. If you have to cry, cry about it. You're a human being. I suggest, you can do a little journaling. You could, write letters to yourself. And if all else fails, maybe you want to seek to get professional therapy. Speak with someone. Speak to someone that's non-biased and, doesn't give a shit about you or the narcissist. They're just doing their job. Trust me, those are the best listeners. When you have issues, you have problems, especially relationship problems, you don't be telling your shit to people that you know, because 90% of the time, they're just a bunch of fucking flying monkeys, and they're just going to sit there and laugh and rejoice that the narcissist hurt you. So don't waste your time with those types of people. Okay? So that is the role of the new supply. New supply was always there. They went out of their way to wreck your relationship and so forth. Now that they have the narcissist and so forth, let them stand on business. Remove yourself, glow up, ignore their ass, and get better. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.